Recent spoilers have shown us with Fairy Tail Chapter 514, especially about the origins of the first Dragon Slayer being born itself, and definitely some stuff that was kind of interesting to show for 400 years ago prior to the main Fairy Tail story. Plus, especially with what 515 is going to be showing us as well, being titled Chapter 515, I Am You, You Are Me, which is kind of interesting with what the spoilers and the actual text that we have with some of the stuff that is going around you, which I'm going to be reading off some of the stuff. Also as well, just to get some information, is that the actual magazine itself, Shadow Magazine, is going on break next week, and it won't be back till the 28th. So yeah, pretty much you're not going to be having one issue coming out for like kind of Christmas time. So yeah, sorry to hear that though. So you're not really going to be having one next week. So yeah, but during then, enjoy your time with your family. Enjoy, your loved ones. That's what you need to really do. So yes, we finally find out that Irene was in fact from the past all this time, that she was from 400 years ago. Otherwise, like, it wouldn't have made too much sense, her being one of the few founders of Dragon Slayer magic. And the question is though, always still, like, how is she able to survive like this long of time? Is she generally like super old or managed to find some way of kind of like, eternal youth in some way? Or was it that she was able to go through like the eclipse like a lot of people? My guess is that maybe she did come through the eclipse. Maybe Zera did find her around about this time or something. It must have been that, from what we found out, especially with what it was especially saying in those chapters, what we saw with the little spoilers on that, is that especially what was happening there is that dragons were always known for attacking people already, and apparently like what's very interesting is that Western dragons are known for having very low intelligence, and they're pretty much just beasts for the most part. Well, however, and all that, what we know with Ishgar especially is that the dragons there seem to actually have kind of like a little bit more brains and actually think about it. So it shows more exactly why exactly kind of some of the dragons rebelled on the others, and it was the fact that like a lot of them were kind of not really honestly brain dead for the most part. Is that a lot of them honestly were just like wild beasts in a way, nature, and it's kind of interesting that some of them were just kind of like, yeah, were just powerful almighty beings, like, and that's just how strong we were. Like, we were just generally dragons, and we were always the problem to your race. But some dragons at some point were able to actually get like, capable of using brains. And when we saw, especially in the chapter spoilers as well, is that when we were seeing like all the other dragons like working like coincide with human beings, and especially like from the west and all that, they're known for eating people. Here in the east and all that, they're known for like actually being like taking care of people. Dragons have been friends with human beings for a very long time here, being known as like humans and dragons coexist from generation to generation, and it was a friendly country. And exactly, and it was just like what we thought and all that is like, what if we could have the power of the dragon though inside our human bodies? And even with the last part of the chapter and all that, of like what they're saying, the last set of the Dragon Slayer magic is the last stage of being Dragon Slayer, is changing into a dragon. And during this and all that, at this time, you were growing inside of my baby. You were already growing inside of my belly, Urza. So we do know the fact that during this whole little whole flashback scene, we do know exactly at this point that Irene was already pregnant during this time. I don't know where they're going to be the father though. Like, we've been seeing a lot of family members showing up very recently in Theory Tail. We've definitely seen with Grey, we've seen with his father, we've already seen, Natsu's actual family, although like his one was more low-key than anything. It wasn't like this real big revelation. I think that's just like because Natsu, like, for all this longest time is like, no, Ignil, he's my father all this time. Like, he always will be, and that's will forever stay in his heart, thinking about that person. But then again, like, it definitely feels like we are immediately with chapter 515 going straight back to the Iron State. I think this, like, now it's one of the big few fights that we have left to kind of address alongside with the August stuff, and now we're going to get a heavy amount of August like stuff probably in the near future, I'd imagine. But right now it's all about Irene and Urza, and I am really goddamn excited for this stuff. Being the fact that, like, Irene was, like, one of the potential candidates to actually be one of the first Dragon Slayer, or the fact that she could be the first Dragon Slayer. However, there's one interesting thing about that is, like, exactly, like, she could be maybe one of the reasons why, like, what we saw with God Serena, how he was able to acquire all of his powers, because that was, like, she was there for the first time of seeing all the Dragon Slayers. Maybe she was the one as well to pretty much, like, think of the way of the second generation, like, Dragon Slayer by using the Dragon Lacrima. her whole thing has been about enchanting, like her whole magic thing, and I feel like if maybe she didn't inherit the Dragon Slayer style, maybe she was the one that actually invented Dragon Lacrima, maybe she did enchant these gems with like souls of dragons at some point, and that was maybe how it's born. Yeah, because I generally think that if anything, it's like, the question is like, what do you guys think? Do you think she is the first Dragon Slayer? Do you think like she was the original Dragon Slayer next to people, but she proposed the idea, or do you generally think like it was like someone else, or is that something we're never really going to explore at some point? The question is something to be fully unveiled though, probably in 514, or if not, time to come, whether or not we're going to be getting some of these answers or not in the near future of Fairy Tail. I really want to see what you guys think of this chapter of Fairy Tail, what's going to be coming out, and the full chapter will be coming out pretty goddamn soon as well. It will be coming out on Monday, but more Fairy Tail videos to come as well, so sit back and enjoy until then. That is all from me. I want to thank you much for watching. Always let me know you guys in the comment section down below, but that's all from me, so I will see you guys though next time.